Hello and good morning and welcome back to my channel. I'm naturally Ray, or you can just call me Ray. So we're doing one of my favorite videos to do on my channel, which is what I eat in a day. You also, I already prepared breakfast. I already ate my avocado toast, my eggs. I had some just leftover ground turkey. It wasn't much, so I just decided to add it to just bump up my protein. And I made a yogurt bowl. It's not a usual yogurt bowl that I make. I mean, I usually use like plain Greek yogurt and honey, but I didn't see the plain Greek yogurt, at least the brand that I really liked, in the grocery in PriceMart. So they had like the Chobani. I particularly don't like those fruits where they have all those added flavors, because it's usually a little too sweet for me and I just don't want all the added stuff. I prefer just to add my honey. But anyway, I still love how it tastes, and I had a strawberry. I love strawberries. The granola that I use, it wasn't like granola. It was like a granola bar that I kind of just broke up. So it actually have a little bit of chocolate, almonds, cranberries, rice crisp. Can't remember what else it had, but it have that. Now, y'all know that in the last couple of videos, I talk about 2026. I'm not really trying to lose like a lot of weight and focus on a lot of weight. But today I am officially starting a 30-day challenge, like a 30-day reset, because I want to lose about 10 pounds in these next 30 days. Now, I've done this before, and because my body fat percentage, even though like I've lost a lot of weight, I lost like what, 50 pounds. So you all saw my journey and how I looked before, and obviously how I look now. And there were points in time in my journey where I had to count calories, I had to pull out my food scale, I had to weigh stuff, I had to be very diligent about tracking. And I always say, measure the things you want to manage so that you can track your progress over time. I realized that starting to eat intuitively, it was working good for a little while, but the scale has been slowly going up. And as always, when I do these challenges, I will show you all my readings on my smart scale, so it shows me not just my weight, my fat percentage, my muscle mass. And that's why I was like, you know what, I need to lock in a little bit for these next 30 days. I will be telling you all, I will tell you all the different things I'm doing. Breakfast, number one, prioritize high protein meals, high fiber meals. You all know I like to have a big breakfast. As a matter of fact, I actually realized that I have been, I know I talk about intuitively eating, but I have been actually overeating, and that's why the scale has been slowly going up. Right now, I am 130 pounds, and I want to lose 10 pounds to get back to 120. And listen, I am 4 feet 11, I am a petite, I am very short, so 120 pounds is like a normal range for me. Now, as I am lifting and building muscle, yes, the scale may go up, but at least I can see with my smart scale if it's muscle I'm gaining, if it's fat that I'm gaining, so I can at least gauge how things are with that. So yeah, so definitely prioritizing protein, prioritizing fiber. I think this particular meal was like about 35 grams of protein, which is perfect because at least I'm trying to have at least 30 to 40 grams of protein in my main meal, so for breakfast, lunch, dinner. And if I do have a snack, have some type of protein. You don't have to be high protein, but just to bump it up to get at least 100 grams of protein every single day. Listen, I'm telling you what, if you're on your weight loss journey and you're struggling to lose weight, you're in a plateau, there's a high likelihood that you may be not even eating enough protein, eating enough fiber, eating enough healthy fats, and well, of course, you're more than likely may not be in a calorie deficit. Even if you have all of these hormonal issues or even some medical issues, it might be a little challenging for you to lose the weight. Yes, check your dietitian, check your nutritionist, do all of that, but be honest with yourself. If you have not been consistent for at least 30, 60, 90 days, or even just a couple of months of real consistency, if you have not been doing it and you're really in a plateau, then okay, yeah, I could definitely say maybe hormonal stuff, PCOS, perimenopause, menopause, that may be affecting it a lot, but you may not be eating the things that you need to eat. You may not be eating enough protein. Again, like I mentioned, you may not be in a calorie deficit. You may not be actually fueling your body the way you need to. Anyway, that was a whole long rant. But basically, I am just focusing on just making sure that I am as healthy as possible. Not gonna lie, in about maybe 2 to 3 months, I have a particular event coming up, and I just want to feel my best and of course look my best. So I think this 30-day challenge will be a great thing for me for it to be a catalyst for proceeding into a sustainable type of routine. I'm not doing anything that is very restrictive, because at the end of the day, after these 30 days, I want to continue it. I'm just using this as, like I said, a catalyst to get into a proper routine, a proper system of continuing to be healthy and to be fit. So yeah, I had my kombucha, and the sauerkraut that really helps me out with my gut health, and even with my yogurt as well, that helps me out with my gut health. The last week and a half, I don't know, I had some stomach issues or some kind of bug I pick up, and I haven't bought kombucha in a while. And I was like, okay, I got some sauerkraut, I got my kombucha, and I could definitely feel a difference. So I'm really happy about that. That's a local brand, and I really love how their kombucha tastes. At the blood orange, I really love as well. I bought the 3-pack that they have in Price Mart. So yeah. So anyway, I am going to eat this. I always talk about, oh, I love having a big breakfast, but yo, that breakfast today was big. And yes, I am going to eat this, but I may consider, instead of eating 2 eggs, eat 1 egg and maybe more yogurt bowl to be like a little smaller. Like I said, I'm still going to eat this, but I think I may have to start counting calories. Even if it's just for a week, because I think I have been eyeballing a little too much food, and that's maybe why the scale is like slowly increasing. I am telling y'all, you could do all the things that you want to do. Like even after this, I'm gonna do like 15-20 minute walk. Like right now, hold on, my step count right now is 6,014 steps, and that's one of the things I'm gonna try my best to focus on. At least getting 8 to 10,000 steps. Now 10,000 steps you don't have to get, especially if you know you don't walk a lot. Maybe just slowly increase it. This week you increase it to 500, next week you increase another 500, and then you slowly build up. At least try to get about 8,500 steps, because the research really has shown that even if you don't reach 10,000 steps, you get like very similar benefits of if it is that you walk around 8,500 steps a day. But for me, walking 10,000 steps a day is not as challenging. I mean, sometimes depending on my day, I might be like, oh, I have to walk a couple thousand more steps to make up the 10,000. But for the most part, 10,000 steps is really not challenging. So yeah, so that's one of the things that I'm also doing. Prioritizing protein, prioritizing fiber, my healthy fats. My gut health is key, and getting in my steps. So when it is I am making lunch, I will maybe tell you some of the other things that I'm also prioritizing, because when it comes to your weight loss and being healthy and being fit, it's a holistic thing. It's not just what you eat. Now I would say the nutrition maybe makes up about 80% of all of the, I guess, the progress you will want to see, because you could go to the gym, exercise, do all these strength training, walking, all that, but if it is that you're not in a calorie deficit, you will not see any results. If you're not actually eating enough, you're not eating the right foods, you will not see results. Anyway, I'm going to have my yogurt bowl and I will catch back up with you all during lunchtime. So for lunch, we're doing some lamb. I don't know if you all could really see it because the light is behind. But anyway, I actually seasoned this lamb a couple days ago. So the usual seasonings that I put oregano, paprika, thyme, Italian seasoning, I think crushed red peppers, well, of course, some salt. There was something else, thyme and parsley, basil, the usual seasonings that I like to put. Oh, I forgot, onion powder and garlic powder. So I know this is well seasoned. So I'm making lamb, some sweet potatoes and broccoli, and yeah, so it's like basic lunch. So I'll come back and show you all how everything goes. So we have lunch here. I'm really excited to eat this. Y'all, I just wanted to mention, when it is I had breakfast and I was going to eat my yogurt bowl, I was like, I know I like to eat intuitively, but I may have to cut down on my breakfast. Maybe I'm eating too much. Maybe it's just a little too much. Y'all, after I finished eating that yogurt bowl, it was like the perfect amount. So no, I'm gonna eat the same amount of breakfast. And I'm telling you, when you prioritize high protein meals, high fiber meals, it keeps you fuller for longer. As I mentioned, protein, yo, I bought this protein shake. You know, let me put this down, hold on. So I bought this protein shake. Is it in focus? I think so. Hold on. Okay, yeah, so I bought this protein shake, and y'all know with my weight loss journey of losing 50 pounds, I tried my best not to eat like a lot of protein supplements and protein powders and protein shakes, because I'll be honest, when it is you look at the research, sometimes when this at the tab 30 grams of protein, and I looked at the ingredients and it's not like the best ingredients. And I'm not saying that all protein shakes and all protein powders you have that issue, but you have to understand that some of these protein shakes, protein powders, protein supplements, everything protein, they may have like added fillers, not the best ingredients. Sometimes they might have like amino acids that your body can't even properly metabolize. So you're thinking you're actually getting 30 grams of protein. No, I'm not saying this particular brand. I just just wanted to try it. I love this particular brand in their Greek yogurt and in their yogurt in general. So when I saw 30 grams of protein, I was like, let me give it a try. I just wanted to taste it. So I definitely know by the time I finish lunch, have dinner, when it is I add up all of my grams of protein for the day, I know I would be set for today, which is I'm aiming for that for these first 30 days, and not just 30 days, just as a lifestyle, because I want to build a lot of muscle. I know I talk about this in my last few videos, but y'all, I have not been doing very good when it comes to my strength training and resistance training. So for these 30 days, I am making it a non-negotiable that I have to strength train and or resistance train at least 3 times. And I'm saying at least because that's where I want to start. I definitely want to bump it up to maybe 4 or 5 times a week, but we're doing something for these 30 days that are sustainable, that are realistic, and I build over time, because every single thing that I'm implementing into my routine, I want to make sure that it's part of my lifestyle and I keep up with it. So anyway, but you know what, let me just open this one time and taste it. Hold on, I have to tear this. Okay, wait, can I just turn it? Alright, let me get let's see. Let me get the scissors. I can't remember. Hold on. Actually, okay, yeah, I got you. Alright, so let's taste this. Let me just shake it up a bit. Y'all, I will be so disappointed if this doesn't taste good, because this actually was a little more on the expensive side. I mean, it's vanilla and it smells like vanilla. Oh, it actually tastes good. It just reminds me of their yogurts, like their vanilla yogurt that they have. It's actually not too bad. Would I buy this again? Absolutely not. Because number one, it was way too expensive. If it was cheaper, I would consider it. But I tend to eat my protein from whole foods, not from shakes. And usually, even when I make my own smoothies and I put Greek yogurt and my blueberries, strawberries, and bananas, and I put everything in it, there's a satiety factor, and I think this is like scientific, I think. But when it is you like drink your food versus eating your food, you're actually using your muscles in your face, you're masticating, you're chewing. There's a satiety that tends to build up more than if you actually drink it. Like I said, there's some type of research with that, and I actually found it true. When it is I make my smoothies, the same ingredients that I use for my smoothies versus eating my yogurt bowl, like I actually sit down and I take time to eat, I feel a sense of satiety and fullness more, even though it's basically the same ingredients. Anyway, it's not bad. It really isn't bad, but definitely not something that I would buy again, unless it is that I'm in a buying to get extra protein, which I'm never really at a buying to get extra protein. I could just come home and eat some protein or buy something. But I guess for those who may be struggling, really struggling to up their protein, there's nothing wrong with protein shakes, there's nothing wrong with protein powders, but just make sure that you're buying some that have some really good ingredients and you're well aware of the actual amount of protein that you're intaking, that your body is actually utilizing and metabolizing. So yeah, so I'm gonna have lunch, and a little later for dinner, the amount of protein I have for the day and this 30 grams, I don't know if I'm gonna make like a big dinner. I'm thinking about having like a little bowl, like add some vegetables and ground turkey, but we'll see how that goes. But I'll catch up with you all later. So for dinner, it's basically a lot of leftovers. I have some ground turkey here, but I have to season this up. I'm gonna use like the same seasonings that I use for my lamb, so I'm gonna do that. And then I have some leftover rice, have some spinach, I'm gonna have tomatoes, I'll saute this red onion, corn, this is leftover peas, lentil peas, avocado, and I'll just put some sauerkraut, and I think that is everything. So I'm gonna do like a what is called that, like a bowl, like a turkey bowl something, and I think it's gonna come out good because these are all ingredients that I absolutely love. So dinner is this type of burrito bowl type of situation. I really love how colorful it is. You all know about eating the rainbow. That's where you eat a lot of your fruits and your vegetables, all of the colorful stuff. You get your micronutrients, your prebiotics, your probiotics from a lot of your fruits and your vegetables. Of course, I have some sauerkraut, so I get some more probiotics there, helping out with my gut health. So I have a variety of stuff. I'm gonna enjoy this. I typically don't eat dinner like really late, and it's not so much about, you know, eating late and gaining extra weight when you eat late, because it's all about your calories. Because if I eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, the same meals 10 o'clock at night every single night, I'm not going to gain any more weight if it is that I eat it separately, breakfast, lunch, dinner. It's more about the total amount of calories you eat per day that determines whether you're going to gain weight or lose weight, other than the hormonal stuff. And I kind of roll my eyes because I find so many people, they make the excuse of having hormonal problems and medical issues. And if it is that you really ask them like specific questions, they're actually not as consistent. They maybe have no idea as to how much calories they're actually eating. So a lot of times they're just overeating. Anyway, that's besides the point. So I typically don't eat too late simply because I take some time to let my body digest so that I can sleep a lot better. I'm not feeling like I ate right before I slept, so I give my body enough time to digest my food. I usually would walk, like I mentioned. Actually, hold on, let me write this down. Let me see. Let me see how much steps I have for the day. 12,038 steps, and I definitely know I'm gonna walk a little more. So after I eat, I'll walk maybe about 10-15 minutes, and that's just something you should try and do throughout the day. Now I usually tend to walk at a pretty brisk pace. I don't really like walk really slowly. Of course, you do it for I guess where you are in your, I guess, walking journey. You know, some people, they do have little issues with their knees. Some people just generally have issues with mobility, so walking could be very challenging. Maybe they may not be able to, but if you are able to, I need you to walk. I need you to walk. So many people are so sedentary. Yeah, so I'm gonna walk some extra steps just to help with digestion after I eat. And again, that will just help me out with sleeping, which is actually one of the main things I want to try and focus for these next 30 days. Prioritizing at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Lately, I have not been, my sleep cycle has been kind of off lately. So yeah, for these next 30 days, like I mentioned, it's doing everything that I'm doing is something that I know I can keep up with. It's sustainable, and yeah, it's just going to be part of my routine. But yeah, but if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and as always, try your best to become the healthiest version of yourselves. Bye guys.